If we do not take charge of ourselves, we are going to be the biggest disaster. Already we are an impending disaster. For a whole lot of things, human beings, if they take responsibility for their health and they develop simple tools as to how to manage my body, how to manage my chemistry. See, today everybody knows because of medical sciences that human experience of life as a basis has a chemistry attached to it. There is a chemistry. There is a chemistry of joy, there is a chemistry of love, there is a chemistry of blissfulness, there is a chemistry of stress, anxiety, misery. For everything there is a chemical basis. So essentially, this is the most complex and sophisticated chemical factory on the planet, the human mechanism. Now the question is, are you a great CEO or a lousy CEO? But our education systems, our social customs have nothing about this. We are busy wanting to conquer the world without any sense in ourselves. But now the way we are empowered with science and technology, if we do not take charge of ourselves, we are going to be the biggest disaster. Already we are an impending disaster, both in terms of environment and these days it's fashionable to talk about World War III. See, this is almost like World War I happened, World War II happened, so III must happen. Number system this is, all right? In 2 generations we have seen 2 world wars. Now the 3rd generation must see the 3rd world war, otherwise they will miss out all the action. How to make movies without a world war? But now the way we are empowered, if we go for such a foolish thing, we cannot say somebody is mentally ill. All of us are, absolutely.
Sadhguru, in a society that you describe that has these mental challenges, have this sickness, how do people start to change? Can you tell us about inner engineering and how people can start to take steps towards being more well and that freedom that you talk about?
See, when we talk about engineering, let's talk about just engineering. Engineering essentially means we create a machine which does what we want it to do. If you create a machine to do one thing, if it does another thing, that's not a well-engineered machine. It doesn't fail, it does what you want it to do, that's a well-engineered machine. So, we're talking about this. This is in terms of design and its manifestation, it's the greatest piece of engineering on the planet. Do you agree with me?
Yeah.
This is. The question is, it is so complex and the management is from inside. If you don't manage it well, this piece of engineering can be a big mess for yourself and the rest of the world. One human being can do terrible things to the entire humanity right now. We have that kind of capability. 1,000 years ago, if one human being went little off, he would do some damage to somebody next to him or to himself. But right now, one human being can cause massive damage to the entire world, the way we are empowered. So when this is the case, engineering yourself in a way that you want. You don't have to engineer yourself the way I want. But fortunately, if you keep our things aside, whatever social and other influence aside, when I asked you that question, if there was a choice, is bliss the choice or misery the choice? Everybody says it's blissfulness. Shall I tell you my problems? My problem is this. This is the 40th year. 40 years ago this happened. One afternoon I was sitting somewhere with my eyes open and suddenly I realized that, tears of blissfulness are just flowing and I'm just sitting there for hours with no sense of time. What I think is a few minutes is passing off as hours. Then I sit down and think, what's happening to me? My logical mind tells me, maybe you're going off the rocker. I ask my friends, what do you think is happening to me? They say, come on, what did you pop? Did you pick up the mushrooms in the mountain? Did you do this? Did you do that? Then I experimented with this and I realized, if I keep my hands off my psychological process, every cell in my body drips ecstasy. When I realized this is 40 years ago, I sat down and planned that in 2.5 years' time, at that time the human population was 5.6 billion, I sat down and made a plan, in 2.5 years' time I will make everybody blissful, because who would not want it? Who will not want it? Even both of you guys said you want it, all right? But see, today people say we have touched over 2 billion people, whatever, but that's not my idea of humanity. 8 billion people are there today. Why is it? This is because the cycles of misery are such, once you get into the trap, it keeps you going, and there's a whole society supporting that. People are telling you your misery is normal. Your misery is not normal, your ill health is not normal. Every cell in the body is designed to create health. Why would they turn against us? We're doing something wrong, isn't it? Something fundamentally wrong. Is misery normal? No, every child is bursting with joy. If you just feed him enough, he's bursting with joy. What happened? What happened is we did all the wrong things. First and foremost thing that's happened is this: we have something called as education. Education is an extruder machine which is trying to turn out the same kind of nuts and bolts from every human being, and we're turning out more nuts than bolts. The important thing is, one fundamental thing we missed out on is in education, we are giving so much significance to memory and no significance to human attention. See, when you're in school, you get good marks. For whatever nonsense you read, if you can puke it on the examination paper, you get the marks. If you pay attention, you never got the marks. So this is a basic flaw in our way we are bringing up our children, the way we are raising whole generations of people. All of us are victims of it one way or the other, all right? Because everywhere your memory was rewarded, your attention was not rewarded. Because in this universe, in this life, things open up only where you pay intense attention. Where there is no attention, nothing happens, the same old cycle happens. So I am saying, right now misery is a certain cycle. It may be a genetic cycle, it may be a karmic cycle, or it may be an individually manufactured cycle, it doesn't matter how. But essentially it's a cycle. If you want to break any cycle, you need a very intense form of attention. So inner engineering, first aspect of it is learning to pay attention to yourself. When I say yourself, not your persona, not your thoughts, not your emotions, not like that, to the life that you are. See, first we are life, then we have thoughts, emotions, our psychological dramas, and then how we manifest that in the world, many things, all right? But fundamentally we are life. Everything else is secondary, but there is no attention to that life at all. Our personalities, our psychological drama has completely drowned the life that we are. Essentially, life is naturally exuberant and alive and joyful. This is the nature of everything, not just human life. But instead of being alive with life, we have become such a big psychological drama, now we don't know how to direct the drama, that is illness, isn't it? If you could direct your drama the way you want, then you would create a joyful drama for yourself, or something that you enjoy. If you enjoy misery, it's fine with me, but you will do something that is good for you. But right now the drama itself is going out of control because drama has become bigger than the life that you are. This needs to change, means you need to engineer yourself in its right perspective, because this is how life is happening. Just because we are given a certain intellectual capability, unfortunately, instead of using it to our benefit, we are making it such a big problem. Every problem that we have created on the planet, whether it's environmental or political or wars and stuff and discriminations, everything has come from human mind, isn't it? What a fantastic instrument, look at the way you're using it. This has happened because mind has become the master. You should be the master of your mind, then you will use it the way you want. Right now, the psychological process is a cycle of what information and data you have gathered from that, there is a cycle. That cycle is ruling you, that cycle is dominating you. If it's happening little well for you, you think it's great. The moment it turns into a tornado, then you are sick. That is not the point. The important thing is you are not above it, you are beneath it. That is the problem.